Hi, I'm Alex Fuchs, and this is my review of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, a film I loved, but also kind of frustrated me a little bit when I first watched it. Across the Spider-Verse picks up with Miles Morales sometime after the first movie. He's been holding it down as the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but is clearly lonely, missing the friends he made across the first movie, across the multiverse. So when Gwen shows up, he jumps at the chance to reconnect. But what starts as a reunion quickly turns sour. The very spider people that he was excited to see again become some of the film's biggest antagonists. And at the end, the main villain is revealed to be himself, or at least an evil version from another dimension. Speaking about the movie, animation wise, one of the coolest things about Spider Man Across the Spider Verse is how much love and care went into each frame. While glitch effects and quick transitions could have been created with things like AI, they weren't. Everything was hand drawn or deliberately crafted by human animators, and that dedication definitely shows. Each frame, that even frames that appear for only like half a second, it still feels like so much love and care went into each image, and it's not just random. Each image has meaning and character that's specific to each individual Spider Person, and you could pause the movie at pretty much any frame, and you could see so many different references and attention to detail that like make sense within the universe, and you just wouldn't get that kind of like emotion from like an AI image prompt. The comic book influence in the movie is also really interesting, like the style. I love like the onomatopoeia when they have words like bang and pow that pop up on screen, and they don't really feel like cheesy, even though it's kind of like crossing a medium from comic book to film. Um, and while this is more in the first movie, I wanted to talk about the use of frame rate, like which is another really cool thing they do in animating. So in the first movie, when Miles is learning how to swing like Spider-Man, he's animated in like 30 frames per second, or maybe even a little less than 30 frames per second, which kind of makes his movement feel very like choppy and clumsy, like he's kind of learning how to do it. And then later, when in the movie, when he's confident, it switches back to 60 frames per second, very smooth and clean, kind of showing that he's mastered it, which is a very subtle way of showing like character growth through animation. And I absolutely love that detail. It's super cool. Again, speaking of visuals, one thing was the colors in the movie. I love how colors were used to tell a story. Each dimension had its own vibe. Gwen's world felt very soft, emotional, all watercolor based, purples and blues that shift with her mood. Hobie's style is more chaotic. It's like a collage that's constantly like tearing itself apart. And these colors aren't just for style; they also help us instantly know like where we are, which universe we're in, and they kind of give us a glimpse into how each character sees their own world, a little bit of like their own personality. The movie's also chopped full of humor. The humor in the movie is really good. There are tons of clever moments for fans, like the Spider-Man pointing meme, which is a nice callback from a very old Spider-Man film. And they don't overuse it either. It's a quick nod, kind of a blink and you'll miss it kind of joke. But everyone in the theater who recognized it was definitely laughing. So I said earlier there was one thing that kind of frustrated me when I first watched the movie. So my biggest complaint would be the cliffhanger. When I saw the movie in theaters, obviously I didn't know it was going to be a to be continued, or that it was going to be a second in a three trilogy movie. So that kind of caught me off guard. I actually remember being like 2 hours into the movie, and I was like, it kind of doesn't seem like it's gonna like end anytime soon. Like they're setting up so much stuff. So yeah, when the story just kind of stops, I have to be honest. I walked out of the movie theater kind of mad, not because the movie was bad or in any way. Like it was really amazing, but just because I didn't really want to have to wait 2 or 3 years to kind of see the resolution or see how it ends. And that's even more true now because it keeps getting delayed longer and longer. So I definitely still think it's a brilliant movie, but the cliffhanger kind of soured the experience for me in the moment. But I've kind of gotten past that. In the end, Across the Spider Verse is one of the most creatively ambitious animated films I've seen, and an absolutely amazing sequel to the first movie. It definitely pushes the limits of animation and style, setting a high bar for what's possible with animation as an art form. Even if the ending left me hanging, I know I'll be there opening night when the next one comes out, because I really enjoyed this series. So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it. I'm Alex. See you guys later.